This is my 2007 Yamaha R1. There's a lot of work that I need to do. I'm just gonna get to it. I'm just gonna jump into the work. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start with the rear of the bike. That subframe is completely smashed and I wanna know what kind of subframe I need to buy. By that I mean, do I need a naked subframe that doesn't need anything on top of it because I have everything in there that is intact from the accident? Or do I need to buy a subframe with a bunch of things on it because they're missing and they flew off or they're broken? So that's what I'm going to start with, subframe. Let's go. So in the previous video I was mentioning bad surprises when you take things apart, and there is a bad surprise. I think we can see it right here. So the oil pan is, well, there is a big hole in it, and that thing that was dangling, I was wondering what it was. Well, that belongs to the oil pan. First bad surprise, I need to buy a new oil pan, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the oil pan out. I just wanna see if everything's good inside or if there is any bad surprises inside. You see that? That's a bad surprise. I was not expecting that. So we saw the oil pan here is just damaged. It completely, there is a big hole right here because whatever was on the road just hit on the oil pan right here, and I was like, okay, I'm just good to buy a new oil pan and that's it. But then when I take it out and I was seeing that that mating surface was not flat at all, well, there is a hole in the motor casing right here. And by the way, this is not a part that you can just change on the motor and be good with it. This is basically the spine of the motor. This is where the crankshaft goes, and everything that you see bolts on this piece. I'm not gonna change it. If I change it, that means I get a new motor, a new engine. That part is the part that got the VIN number for the motor. So if I change that, I don't have matching numbers on the bike anymore. I know a lot of people are like, well, that's the least of the concern right now because everything is trashed anyway. So it's not like you're making a perfect example of an R1. Well, I'm kind of trying to do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some brake cleaner. I'm gonna clean over here. I'm gonna make a little part in aluminum right here that I'm gonna try to braze. I got some brazing rods to weld aluminum. I know it's not welding, it's brazing. I'm gonna try to refill some material right here because we can see there is a big dent in this. So I'm gonna try to refill here. There you can see there was a screw, and now there is half of a screw. It is snapped inside, so I need to remove that. they used to have a screw right here. There used to be a screw right there. We can see some of the threads inside the casing. So that just is gone now. So I need to do something about this. Kind of the same thing, same situation right here. We can see half of it just is gone. So yes, I know it's kind of desperate, right? But I'm gonna do it. I've never done that type of work. I'm really gonna protect everything. I'm gonna clean it very thoroughly. I'm gonna remove that screw and I'm gonna braze over here. That's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna get my brake cleaner right now and get to work. Okay, quick update. So I tried brazing on small parts of aluminum. I never did brazing before. Brazing is with a torch just like this one and with those filler rods right here. They call that brazing and welding rods. So I tried that and it does work when you have small parts of aluminum. The problem is aluminum is so good at diffusing heat, which is the reason why it's used on performance engines, that when you want to hit something that big, and I haven't tried on this one, but I'm just thinking about it, when I'm going to have to heat this to 720 degrees Fahrenheit, to get that to 720 degrees, that means a lot of things here are going to be around the 700 degrees Fahrenheit, which is super bad. There is a lot of things that contain maybe plastic, rubber, and even things that don't need to heat that much. So I don't want to do brazing. On top of it, I don't think this is very, structurally, this is not very strong. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do something that I never did before, is I'm gonna TIG weld. So I bought a TIG welder, it's gonna arrive here in a few days, so I'm not gonna be able to TIG right now. What I'm gonna do is, to get more room around the welding area, I'm gonna take the engine off of the frame. Another thing, and that's great news of what I did prior, I took that screw, and I'm gonna take the camera and show, I took the screw that was snapped, it went off very easily, and something so surprising, that piece right here, I found between the frame and the casing right here. I thought that was a stone, I took it out, fell on the floor, was looking at it, I was like, no way! And this goes right here. So I just have, when I say I just, well, I'm gonna have to TIG weld right here. So we have something that is strong. So I don't need to refill here. That's a great news. So I'm gonna put the bike back upright and I'm gonna take the engine off of the frame right now. So when I receive my TIG welder, I can experiment and test on different parts of aluminum. When I'm ready, I can get that engine with more room around to weld. One of the reasons why I'm thinking about this is when I want to weld, I want to have maybe that part horizontal as opposed to vertical. So right here, if I have to weld that, especially for, like, I'm a newbie, I don't know how to weld yet, so I'm gonna learn how to do it. But I think it's a lot better to get something flat as opposed to get something like this, because I don't know if the bee is gonna run with gravity and maybe it's not gonna do a good quality weld, and I obviously want to have a good quality weld. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get that engine off, I'm gonna put it and wedge it in a way that that surface right here is flat, and I'm gonna clean more from the paint. There is too much paint around, but then when I get the TIG, I can really do something that's good. I'm gonna do the same for here, so I'm gonna have to move the engine around as I'm welding. Let's go. Alright, so I'm kind of stuck now because I don't have a tool. I'm going to show you real quick. This is a tool that I need to take care of that little piece that we see right here. I took the axle with the bolt off, but I can see it's still stuck because of this. And I have the exact same one right in here, if we can see. So yeah, we can see right here. So it looks like it would be a thick screwdriver, but I don't have anything that really fits. I don't want to damage anything. I would need a tool right here when I'm about to change that swing arm. So I ordered the tool here. I ordered the tool, which is the same for this and here. So I'm gonna receive that in a few days. That's good. I'm gonna receive the TIG welder as well. So I'm gonna have those tools. I'm gonna have the TIG welder. I think I have everything I need because it's just like annoying to be stuck like that on some things when you feel like, no, it should be easy. So I'll get that. I'll really practice on my TIG welding because I never did it before. So I'm gonna get like some small aluminum parts and I'm gonna practice my welding. When I'm comfortable with it, I'll be able to go on the casing and finally weld that little piece in aluminum that I made, that you saw me making. I'm gonna be able to TIG weld it on the casing. And the engine with a new oil pan, the engine should be ready to go back on the frame. I'll change the swing arm. I'll take advantage of having no engine on the frame to have a very light bike, to be able to just move it around and remove the swing arm. It's going to be a lot easier than having the engine on, I believe. Let's see how it goes. So new swing arm, new oil pan, and a motor in a casing that is fixed. I can put everything back on. I got the right tools to take it off and put it back on. So that should look pretty good. That's what's going to happen next. So if you're interested in looking at that bike right here, getting better and going back on the streets, me rebuilding it, consider subscribing to the channel, activate your notification, this way you know when I post a new video. I see you in the next one, and meantime, keep building.